Good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor and here are this morning's headlines. India and Tunisia agreed to cooperate in fight against terrorism during talks between Vice President Hamid Ansari and Tunisian Prime Minister. Two sides also signed 2 MOUs in the field of IT and promoting handicrafts. 12 people, including City SP, killed during anti-encroachment drive in Mathura. Police team fired at with automatic weapons and hand grenades by group occupying land for 2 years. Centre orders complete sealing of Indo-Bangladesh border in Assam by next year. Technological solutions to secure borders besides fencing. World-famous Louvre Museum to shut following threats from worsening floods in France. Thousands evacuated following heavy rains in central and northeastern parts of the country this week. And OPEC fails to reach agreement on output policy at Vienna meet. Saudi Arabia promises not to flood market as Iran insists on steep production rise. Well, a top story this morning, India and Tunisia have vowed to cooperate to combat global terrorism. Vice President Hamid Ansari said this after his meeting and talks with the Tunisian Prime Minister. The two sides also signed 2 MOUs for the promotion of handicrafts and IT and communication and digital economy.
Vice President Mohammed Hamid Ansari holding detailed discussions with Tunisian Prime Minister Habib Essid in the capital Tunis after arrival from Morocco.
I had substantial discussions covering the entire gamut of our bilateral relations as well as on global issues of mutual concern with Prime Minister Essid. Our discussions on bilateral relations focused on ongoing economic partnership and on incorporating newer areas of collaboration in information, technology and education.
The two sides signed 2 MOUs following one-on-one talks followed by delegation-level talks.
We have also signed 2 memoranda of understanding for collaboration in information technology and for promotion of traditional handicrafts.
A decision to train 350 Tunisian students in the next 5 years in India was also taken after talks. A detailed discussion on the scourge of international terrorism and the need for joint efforts to combat it also figured during talks.
The spreading tide of extremism and terrorism is a threat we both face. Successfully dealing with such threats requires strong cooperation amongst like-minded partners. We have discussed the issues related to combating this challenge and decided to enhance our cooperation in the field of counter-terrorism.
The Vice President also conveyed India's gratitude to Tunisia for its backing for New Delhi's UNSC bid.
We highly appreciate Tunisia's support for India's candidature to the expanded United Nations Security Council.
Before heading into talks, the Vice President also visited the Zaytona Mosque, the Bardo Museum and the House of Representatives. He is slated to meet Tunisian President Beji Caid Essebsi today. He will also deliver a keynote address to leading scholars and think tanks in the African nation. Vishal Jain and Anudivan's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, back home, various steps are being taken by the Indian government to assure African nationals in India that their grievances are being addressed. Now, Delhi police on Thursday held several sensitization meetings in Delhi with local residents and African nationals to ease the sense of insecurity among the people of African origin. Here is a report. At least 5 separate incidents of attacks on African nationals were reported in the last 10 days alone, creating a sense of insecurity among the community. Addressing their grievances, Delhi police on Wednesday held several sensitization meetings with local residents and African nationals across the national capital. Indo-Africa Friendship Group was also formed in the wake of these incidents.
अभी जो घटनाएं हो रही हैं उसके विरुद्ध सभी लोगों ने यहाँ पे बोला और हम सब ये भारतीयों से भी अपील करते हैं कि अफ्रीकी हमारे भारतीय भविष्य के लिए और विश्व की शांति के लिए बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है।
भारत जैसे हिट्रोजिनस देश में ये सदा दूसरी सभ्यताओं को और संस्कृतियों को अपनाने की क्षमता हमेशा रही है और आगे भी रहेगी।
Addressing a press conference in the capital, Foreign Ministry spokesperson Vikas Swarup said, apart from Delhi and Bangalore, other cities will also be targeted under the Foreign Ministry's supervision.
So the plan is for MOSVK, accompanied by Secretary Economic Relations Shri Amar Sinha, to go to these cities with the police commissioners of those cities, meet the student community, the locals, and do a full outreach program where we hear their concerns. We try to put in place institutional mechanisms which can address those concerns.
The External Affairs Ministry also says it has been successful in diffusing the apprehensions of the African community. Swarup also referred to the heartwarming and positive statement issued by External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj after meeting a group of African envoys and students on Tuesday, besides the sensitization campaign. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. News from the northeast, and the centre has ordered complete sealing of Assam's border with Bangladesh by June next year, fulfilling an electoral pledge made by the BJP within a week of assuming power in Assam to check illegal immigration from the neighbouring country. Union Home Minister Rajnath Singh issued the order at a high-level meeting attended by top Home Ministry officials in the national capital. The Home Minister also directed that the full use of technological solutions be made to secure sensitive areas along the borders. Besides deployment of adequate number of battalions of the BSF in Assam, a 224-kilometre-long fence has been constructed for the sealing of Indo-Bangladesh border in Assam. However, there are 122 locations that lack physical barriers. The complete sealing of the border will be achieved by June of next year. And a shocking story now. There have been several police casualties following an anti-encroachment drive in Mathura on Thursday. Now, those killed include a city SP and an SHO. Now, police personnel were targeted during a drive to move out illegal occupants of a part following an Allahabad High Court order.
Scenes at the Jawahar Bagh in Mathura on Thursday. The anti-encroachment drive by the police ending in violence, police personnel at the receiving end.
See, this was an unlawful assembly. They were engaged in unlawful activity, and today they fired at the police, which was absolutely unprovoked. Now, since this has happened, we are going to take very strict action against the people who were aggressive.
City Superintendent of Police Mukul Dwivedi and an SHO Santosh Kumar were among the casualties. The police are still counting the loss of lives on their side.
अभी तक जो है हमारे पास लगभग 12 बॉडीज हमारे पास हैं. अभी सर्च जारी है. आगे कुछ पता चलेगा तो बताया जाएगा.
Clashes broke out while the police were trying to evict illegal occupants of the land. The occupants are believed to be activists of the Azad Bharat Vidhik Vaicharik Kranti Satyagrahi. The eviction drive was following an Allahabad High Court order. The police team had reached the spot and they were targeted with automatic weapons and hand grenades.
उनके पास एक्सप्लोजिव्स थे, ग्रेनेड्स थे, बंदूकें थी, गन्स थी, कट्टे तमंचे थे. उनके द्वारा उन्होंने हम पे फायर किया. लगभग हमारे पास 200 लोग हैं, 200 से अधिक लोग हैं. अब उनका चिन्हीकरण किया जा रहा है कि कौन-कौन व्यक्ति थे जिनके द्वारा आक्रमण किया गया. उनके खिलाफ उचित धाराओं में कार्रवाई की जाएगी.
Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav expressed grief over the incident and announced an ex gratia of 20 lakh rupees to the family of the deceased policeman. Hunt is on for the leader of the activists Ram Raksha Yadav and the security officer of the group. Thousands of his supporters have also managed to flee. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And in other news, the verdict in the long-pending Gulbarg Society massacre case was pronounced on Thursday. A special court convicted 24 accused and acquitted 36 others. Now, the quantum of sentence for the accused will be announced on Monday. Now, mixed reactions to the verdict have been coming in. While political parties welcomed it, the main petitioner in the case, Zakia Jafri, has expressed dissatisfaction.
A special designated court on Thursday convicted 24 of the 66 accused in the Gulbarg Society massacre case. The incident that took place during the 2002 post-Kodra riots involved the killing of 69 people, including former Congress MP Ehsan Jafri. While 11 of the 24 accused have been found guilty of murder, 13 others have been convicted for lesser crimes. The quantum of sentence will now be pronounced on the 6th of June.
ये न जीते न हारे, हमारे लिए एक कदम और है. We will go to the High Court so far as the 11 major convicts are concerned, and other certain people, whatever they may be convicted, they stand chance to be released on bail if they are convicted for up to 3 years.
36 others were acquitted due to lack of evidence. These include sitting BJP corporator from Asarwa, Bipin Patel, and KG Edda, the erstwhile police inspector who was arraigned as an accused by the SIT. Reacting to the verdict, slain Congress MP Ehsan Jaffrey's widow Zakia Jaffrey said her fight for justice would continue.
आप इस जजमेंट से पूरी तरह सेटिस्फाइड नहीं हैं, तो क्या आपकी जो प्रोसेस है, जो लड़त है, वो आगे चालू रहेगी?
जी हाँ, चालू रहेगी. अब अभी नहीं, अभी खत्म हो गई होती, लेकिन अभी सब ऐसा हुआ है तो चालू रहेगी. फिर मुझे वकीलों को सौंपना पड़ेगा मेरा काम.
The Congress party, however, believes that justice has finally been done.
This is a long pending case, and finally we are seeing the light of the day, and we do hope in the higher courts justice will be finally done to the families. Our heart goes out to them that today at least some justice would be seen to be done.
Other political parties also hailed the verdict.
देर से ही अगर न्याय मिलता है तो कम से कम थोड़ा मरहम लगेगा. जो जख्म दिए गए हैं वो जख्म तो खैर नासूर बन चुके हैं, लेकिन थोड़ा मरहम लगेगा और उसकी आवश्यकता है.
आज 14 सालों के बाद उन दंगाइयों को सजा मिली है. इससे एक बात तो स्पष्ट हुई है कि हमारे देश में इंसाफ देर से ही सही लेकिन मिलता है.
The Gulbarga Society massacre took place on the 28th of February 2002, a day after the Godhra train burning incident in which 58 car sevaks were killed. In retaliation, a mob allegedly attacked the predominantly Muslim cluster of 29 bungalows and 10 apartments in Ahmedabad, killing nearly 1,000 people. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
News from the state of Bihar, and the state board examination, school examination board has put on hold the results of the toppers of arts and science streams of class 12 examination. The Bihar board has called the first 7 rank holders of the 2 streams for test following media expose on some of their purported inability to answer basic questions. Now, those summoned for re-exam includes arts topper Ruby Rai and science streams topper Saurabh Kumar. The centre will seek report from the Bihar government over the dubious toppers of plus 2 examination in the state. Union Minister of State for Human Resource Development Upendra Kushwaha has said this. Now, the centre is expected to issue an advisory to take stringent measures to stop malpractices in the examination conducted by the Bihar School Examination Board. Remember, this comes after one of the students who scored 444 marks out of 500 in political science said that the subject was about cooking. There have been reports of irregularities in the conduct of examination by Bihar board every year. However, state governments have failed to initiate concrete preventive steps. Now a look at what is slated for the day. Here is the day ahead. Today is the last date for withdrawal of candidature for the upcoming Rajya Sabha biennial elections. Polling to 57 Rajya Sabha seats from 15 states will be held on 11th of June. The nomination papers of all key candidates for the 11th of June biennial elections have been found to be valid after scrutiny. Counting of votes will take place on the same day. The elections were necessitated as the 55 members from 15 states are retiring between June and August. Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar is in Singapore to take part in the crucial 3-day Shangri-La Dialogue, an intergovernmental security forum on the sidelines of which he will also hold talks with his French counterpart, aiming to close the deal for 36 Rafale fighter jets. The Shangri-La Dialogue is hosted annually by independent think tank International Institute for Strategic Studies. The new Speaker of the Kerala Assembly will be elected today. The LDF has nominated P. Sri Ramakrishnan, a CPIM MLA from Ponnani, to the post of Speaker, and V. Sasi of CPI to the post of Deputy Speaker. They are set to be elected given the strength of the front in the Assembly. The Congress has proposed VP Sajindran as the UDF candidate. And in Breakfast News, we'll take a very short break. We'll be back with more news. Stay with us.
In 1994, Government of India legislated brain death. When your brain stem is dead, you're gone, no matter what happens to other organs. Till today, from October 2008, we managed around 780 brain dead victims donating their organs.
Watch Eureka with Dr. J. Amalor Pavanathan, Director, Institute of Vascular Surgery, Madras Medical College, only on Rajya Sabha TV.
Welcome back. Now, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has said that the Indian economy will double up to $5 trillion in a matter of few years. Jaitley said this while speaking at the India Investment Promotion Seminar organized by CII and DIPP in Osaka during his 6-day tour to Japan. He also said that it is easier to grow when the world is growing at a faster pace. Now, India is currently the fastest growing economy in the last 2 years. Jaitley added that consumer spending and urban demand have moved up, and slowly rural demand will also struggle up. Now, the Finance Minister said that he intended to bring the Constitution Amendment for GST for the consideration of the Upper House in the monsoon session of Parliament, which starts next month. The GST will replace various indirect taxes with one simple tax, creating a boundary-less national market. Arun Jaitley is expected to reach Tokyo later today, where he will hold various meetings with the members of Indian Chamber and Industry Association in Japan. Now, Pakistan has said that its membership in the Nuclear Suppliers Group, or the NSG, will help reduce proliferation of nuclear weapons. Islamabad has applied for the membership to the 48-member elite group of nuclear trading nations on 20th of May. Pakistan also says that its application stands on solid grounds of technical experience, capability, and well-established commitment to nuclear safety. Now, China has been backing Pakistan's membership bid while opposing that of India on the grounds that it is not a signatory to the NPT or the Non-Proliferation Treaty.
Pakistan's NSG application stands on solid grounds of technical experience, capability, and well-established commitment to nuclear safety. Pakistan has operated secure and safeguarded nuclear power plants for over 42 years. Pakistan's nuclear security group's membership is in the interest of nuclear trading countries, as it will further promote NSG non-proliferation objectives by the inclusion of a state with nuclear supply capabilities and its adherence to NSG guidelines.
Well, big international story coming in from Europe, where torrential rains have caused a deadly flooding in central and northeastern France this week, forcing the evacuation of thousands of people and threatening works of art stored in Paris's most celebrated museums. Now, French President François Hollande is to declare a state of natural disaster in the areas worst hit by flooding. In Germany, heavy rains claimed the lives of 9 people, while several others are reported missing. However, the situation is not expected to get any better as more rains are predicted for the weekend.
Unprecedented floods in France, leading to the temporary closure of the world's most visited museum. Some artworks at the Louvre in Paris will be moved to protect them from possible flooding. This after River Seine burst its banks following days of torrential rain. The river, which runs through the Paris past the Louvre, has risen 5 meters above normal levels. Another much-visited attraction, the Musée d'Orsay, shut its doors on Thursday. The downpour is forecast to continue through the weekend, following days of heavy rains.
C'est vrai que c'est pas si surprenant que ça arrive à Paris, mais c'est toujours impressionnant de voir les endroits qu'on connaît complètement submergés par l'eau.
Emergency barriers are being put up along the River Seine. France is to declare a state of natural disaster for the areas worst affected by flooding. The rainfall also disrupted the French Open, where several tennis matches have been postponed. About 25,000 people are without power in Paris and central France. In Nemours, 3,000 people have been evacuated. Prime Minister Manuel Valls visited the town on Thursday, promising to start an emergency support fund for the affected areas.
Les pompiers sont venus chercher. Voilà, donc ça fait à peu près 48 heures qu'on était dans les appartements, sans électricité. Enfin, c'est ça le plus gênant, parce que sinon... Enfin, moi j'habite au 2e étage, donc c'est pas très dramatique, mais sinon ça a été, quoi.
Meanwhile, in neighboring Germany, at least 9 people have died due to the recent floods. An emergency was declared in the historic town of Passau. In the district of Wessel, a dam is threatening to break.
Wir trauern um die Menschen, für die die Hilfe zu spät kam und die in den Fluten ihr Leben verloren haben. Und natürlich bin ich in Gedanken bei ihren Familien, die mit diesem Verlust fertig werden müssen, und das inmitten der Verwüstung, die das Wasser.
Belgium has also seen heavy rainfall and has reported flooding in many areas, including around Antwerp, Limburg and Liège. More downpours are forecast right through the weekend across a band of Central Europe, from France to Ukraine. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, or the OPEC countries, failed to reach an agreement on output policy at its meeting in Vienna on Thursday, as Iran insisted on steeply raising its own production. Although Tehran's arch rival, Saudi Arabia, promised not to flood the market and sought to mend fences with the organization, members broke off the meeting without reaching an agreement on oil production. With oil prices up by about 80% over the past few months from a 13-year lows hit in the winter, there was a little pressure on the OPEC to take significant action to curb the world's huge oversupply of crude. Now, Saudi Arabia and its Gulf allies had tried to propose OPEC set a new collective ceiling in an attempt to repair the group's waning importance. But the meeting on Thursday ended without any new policy and ceiling, as Iran resisted the idea. Tehran argues it should be allowed to raise production to levels seen before the imposition of now ended Western sanctions over Iran's nuclear program.
I think it's not secret that Iran, they still want to produce their pre-sanction quantity. And also we have another country is missing from the market, Libya. So to come up with a number, it's very difficult to do. But at this time now, the number that we are producing is reasonable to the market. The market is accepting it. The price is improving. So the market is really positive as we see it.
On to some sporting action now, and on day 12 of the French Open, there were 2 players who registered first-time semi-final appearances in a Grand Slam in the form of Dominic Thiem and Kiki Bertens. And there were 2 players from whom this was business as usual, Novak Djokovic and Serena Williams. There was a reason to rejoice for Indian tennis fans as well, with Liana Pace, Martina Hingis and Sania Mirza Ivan Dodig through to the final of the mixed doubles.
Top seed Novak Djokovic reached his 30th major semi-final on Thursday, barely escaping with a tournament disqualification. The world '1, a 3-time runner-up and seeking a maiden Roland Garros crown to complete the career Grand Slam, defeated Czech 7th seed Thomas Berdych 6-3, 7-5, 6-3, claiming a place in an 8th French Open semi-final and 6th in succession.
Pleased to be in semi-finals of another Grand Slam, but because of the fact that I have to play every day, my focus right away goes for recovery and the next match, so I don't have much time really.
Djokovic will next face number 13 Dominic Thiem. The Austrian beat number 12 David Goffin of Belgium 4-6, 7-6, 6-4, 6-1. Djokovic has defeated Thiem in both of their career meetings, last sweeping him in 2 sets at the Miami Open in March. Thiem made it to the semi-final of a Grand Slam tournament for the first time and underlined his place at the topmost level.
I think I was emotional enough during the game, so now I can be calm. But yeah, of course, still I'm focused, but it was a very, very good and very intense match.
In the women's draw, defending champion Serena Williams pulled out quite a comeback on Thursday, coming back from a set and a breakdown to beat 60th ranked Yulia Putniteva 5-7, 6-4, 6-1. Williams looked out of sorts for much of her quarterfinal on a gloomy afternoon and finished with a total of 43 unforced errors compared to just 16 for her opponent.
I know she won the week before and she's been playing really well, and obviously I saw a little bit of her match. We kind of finished around the same time, so I didn't get to see all of it, but I saw some of the highlights, and she's a really sweet girl, so it's always good to see someone like that do well.
The number 1 seed will play Kiki Bertens in the last 4 on Friday after the unseeded Dutch player saw off Swiss 8 seeds Tymia Biksinski 7-5, 6-2. Indo-Croatian second seeds Asania Mirza and Ivan Dodic set up a mouth-watering clash against Leander Pace and Martina Hingis in the mixed doubles final. Pace and Hingis won 6-3, 3-6, 10-7 and will face the pair of Mirza and Dodic, who laboured to make it to the final after a 4-6, 6-3, 12-10 win.
Well, that's all in this edition of News and Updates. Continue on your channel. Thanks for watching.